Hi, good evening everyone. Welcome back to the Tommy Podcast, where I believe a healthy life starts with a healthy mind. So if you're on the quest to improve your sleep quality, boost your positivity, enhance your English skills, and end your day with peacefulness, you are in the right place. Before we dive in, I'd love you to think about your own experiences with confidence. So, question for you. What does that mean, confidence to you? You know what, guys? Today I'm so excited to dive into the topic that many of us struggle with, how to build sustainable confidence. This episode is inspired by my own experiences from the past few years in both the hospitality and education industry. Let me start with the first question for you. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of confidence? Is it believing yourself, expressing your true feelings, or dressing well, or achieving success? You know, we all have our own definition of confidence. But in today's episode, I'll be diving into the true source of sustainable confidence. It's been a while since my last episode with Catherine, where we talked about happiness. I'm sure you liked it, right? So if you enjoyed our discussion on happiness, for sure, you are going to love how we build on that idea today by talking about confidence. If you haven't had a chance to watch that episode, I highly recommend you going back and checking out the episode number 10, okay? So, in recent years, I've spent a lot of time getting to know more about myself, and it has made me feeling so grateful. A lot of people, especially my students and close friends, ask me, "Hey, Tommy, how are you so confident? I've tried so many things, but I can't be like you. I'm just a normal guy." The truth is, guys, I used to be like you and I used to feel the same way. I often doubted myself and my abilities. I rarely said yes to anything. For example, I did enjoy the specialized math team in the primary school, and I even turned down a startup idea from a colleague of mine when I was in the university. I always said no because I didn't feel ready. But deep down inside, I was not confident in myself. Back then I thought I come from a poor family, so there are a lot of better students than me, and I won't get anything from joining the math club. Even with the startup idea from my colleague when I was in the university. At that time, I thought I'm not good enough to start a business. It was too risky for me because at that time, earning 7 million Vietnam dong a month, staying in my comfort zone with my stable job and being supported by my parents, I was so comfortable, so I lacked confidence when it came to trying new things or meeting new people. So now, let's talk about the reasons why people often lack confidence. Understanding these reasons can help us address them more effectively. The first reason is self-doubt and comparison. You might think people are more confident because they were born into rich families, they have good looks, or they have special talents. But when you do that, you are actually comparing yourself to a fake reality. These days we are exposed to social media, and a lot of people are addicted to social media, to surfing TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So with the internet, you see more of people's achievements, while learning from their stories can be so helpful and beneficial for you. Comparing yourself to them is absolutely not a good thing to do. Just remember, everyone faces challenges in life, but not everyone is willing to share them on social media. I just want you to keep in mind that they were once where you are. Everyone starts from the beginning. So I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to focus on becoming a better version of yourself each and every day. You are not in competition with anybody in this world. You just need to be better than who you were yesterday. That is more than enough. Another reason for lacking confidence is staying too long in your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is where you do what you love, for sure. Surrounded by what is familiar with you, it feels safe and easy. Is it wrong to stay there? Not at all. In fact, we should spend most of our time there. But the problem is that if you never step out of your comfort zone, never explore the unknown, that's where the courage zone comes in. The courage zone is where you try things that are new, like making new friends, learning a new language, or starting a business, or taking up a new hobby. It is full of adventure, risk, and challenge. But it brings uncertainty, pressure, and change, and sometimes failure. But it's also the only place where you can unlock your full potential. One thing is pretty clear, that you can't reach to your full potential by staying in your comfort zone. After many years, I've learned how to build healthy confidence. So where does confidence come from? There are three main sources of confidence: material things, abilities, and self-confidence. So first, let's talk about material things. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you thought, like, if I have that, my life will be turning into the different chapter. Like, if I had that, I would be more confident and my life would change. But when you actually possess it, the feeling doesn't last long and you start wanting something else. That is because relying on material things for your confidence is fragile. I still remember when I first got a cell phone in grade 10, my mom bought me an iPhone 3 so she could contact me easily. Back then, having an iPhone as a teenager, like grade 10, was a really cool thing to do. Like, just having it made me feel so confident. But soon after, some of my friends got the same phone, then I didn't treasure it as much anymore. Then I started dreaming about the next iPhone. So the story shows that confidence from the material things doesn't last long. It's not sustainable. In fact, it can even lead to arrogance, where you start looking down on others who don't have what you have. Now that we've talked about the material things, let's move on to the confidence in our abilities. I want you to imagine two situations. In the first one, you are at the party with a new friend who is well known in the education field. Throughout the conversation, he talks non-stop about himself, like his achievements, his talents, and his fans. He even looks down on other people in the same field because they don't do as good as him. So in the second scenario, the same friend rarely talks about himself. When asked, he shares some tips and experiences, but says he's still learning and growing every single day. He spends most of the time listening to others, giving compliments, and focusing on the listeners instead of himself. Like, everyone knows about his reputation. So, which one do you think is more confident? I'm with the second guy, right? So the first one is overconfident. And you know, overconfidence can lead to arrogance. And nobody wants to talk or to share anything with these types of people. The key here is to understand your abilities, but never compare yourself to others. You know, you might be good at something, but there's always someone who is doing better than you at that field, right? On the other hand, when you start doubting yourself, feeling self-doubt about yourself because someone is doing better than you, I want you to pause for a while. And remember, you are on your own path. Your journey is unique. Everyone's journey is so different. So focus on your own progress and celebrate the small wins along the way. You are not in competition with nobody. So over or underconfidence are not the good things, right? Because they can either make us arrogant or feel inadequate compared to others. So, what is the true lasting confidence? It comes from within, self-confidence. Remember the person in the second scenario? He is a great example of self-confidence. Everyone likes him right away from the first talk. This is something I've been practicing lately. And it's not easy to be an active listener, to stop yourself from speaking while others are sharing, to stay fully present in the conversation. But it's worth it because you learn more from listening than from speaking. So the takeaway here is that next time when you talk about someone, try to resist the urge to talk about yourself. Let them share, ask questions to learn more from their experience. Be happy for them. You see, it is a game changer. And remember, when you feel your confidence sleeping, think about where it's coming from. Is it because of something material, or are you comparing yourself to others? Focus on your own growth and the things that you can control. You find your confidence grows naturally. So, where does self-confidence comes from? It comes from two main things: competence and self-belief. So, first let's talk about competence. It means knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. So, how do we discover what we are good at and what we need to improve? The answer is to try different things. Explore as many fields as you can to find your passion. Think back to a time when you tried something new. What did you learn about yourself? And the second way is to open to feedback from others. Having a self-development plan is so important. Create a system to evaluate yourself, evaluate your performance regularly. Many people don't like receiving feedback because they feel attacked and they feel like they're not good enough in the eyes of others. But feedback is crucial for learning and growing process. As a leader of an online company with over 100 members, I know that we can't survive for long if we stick to our initial beliefs. Let me just give you an example when I first started my business online. I was hesitant to ask for feedback, but once I did, it completely changed how I lead my team. I remember a specific instance when I and a team member on a special campaign for the marketing. They suggested me a new approach for our marketing strategy, and it led to a significant increase in our engagement. But I could have let it slip away, but then I chose to take it into my consideration and to see if it's viable or not. But then it was a big surprise for us when we can, successfully complete the campaign for the marketing. So the message for you, don't be afraid to seek feedback. Next time when you talk to a colleague or friend or your boss, ask for their honest opinion about you, what they think you could improve, what they think about your strengths and your weaknesses. Constructive feedback is so crucial for your learning process. So when talk about competence, we can't ignore the importance of time management. No matter how great you are, if you don't manage your time well, you'll feel exhausted and always be running behind. This is the challenge, obviously, especially for the young generation who often deal with things without plans. So I want you to think of your life like a suitcase. Have you ever packed a suitcase like when you organize everything neatly instead of just throwing things in? Definitely, you can fit much more. Because I once packed for a trip without organizing everything because I was so in hurry. So I just put everything in and I end up forgetting some of the essential items. Since then, I always make a checklist to ensure I have everything before the trip. So the same principle applies to your life. The better you organize your tasks, the more you can accomplish. So I want you to take some time today to organize your life, like create a to-do list, make weekly, monthly, yearly plans, set both short-term and long-term goals, write everything down. I think this is the beautiful habit that most successful people have, like to write things down. You may have your phones and your laptops like digital device, but I think having a notebook when you can write things down onto the paper, they're so powerful, and you will be surprised at how much time that you can save for your family, your friends, and what truly matters. This is the habit of mine. I don't know if it's strange or not, but this is I learned, and I've been doing it for years actually. I plan for my day, my week, my month, and my year. At the end of the day, I usually sit down in solitude on the desk to reflect on my day and to see whether I have completed all the tasks that I planned in the first hours in the morning. So in the morning, usually before I get into any task, I sit down and I write down all of my to-do list with some of the priorities tasks, important and necessary, and some of the side tasks. Then I do the same thing like on Sunday afternoon from 2 actually, and the last day of the month I do monthly plan, and the last day of the year I do yearly plan. I reflect on my year. So it is a true game changer. It helps me organize so many things. I can accomplish so many things when I look back, really. So you might think, that sounds great, Tommy, but easier said than done. I'm so busy, have so many tasks, and especially I have to deal with some of the unexpected tasks. So how can I plan? Oh, that's a great question. I understand that unexpected things, unexpected tasks can happen, and they are so annoying. I don't like them at all, because it may make you fall behind the deadlines, and you're always in the state of falling behind the due. That's why I say you just have to note down some of the big rocks of yours. So what does that mean? Big rocks, like some of the priorities, like general plan for your day, your week, your month, and your year. For example, for the week, some of the big rocks that I have this week, podcast for you guys, some of the special campaigns that I have, my wedding, the trip back home. Those are some of the big rocks of mine that I have to complete. So I put it first, then for sure, that's the weekly plan, and daily plan that you still have some of the unexpected things that come your way, and then it's just arrange your time for that. So you don't need to be overly specific. Just note down some of the important tasks and try to prioritize them. Stick to your schedule. That's something I want you to keep in mind. Learn to say no to the things that don't serve your final goals. When you have the specific plan, try to stick with that and stop wasting your time on social media like TikTok, Facebook. You make time for that actually. During the day, you may spend 15-20 minutes in the break time so that you can spend for social media. You can learn more from the people there watching relaxing things. I don't care, but then if you set the plan for that one, try to stick with that and stay away from this friend requests or unnecessary hangouts. These distractions can take up a lot of your precious time. So, a word that's just pops up in my mind is reflection. I think this is a very powerful word that I have just realized recently, is to reflect on yourself every single day. This is also the part of my daily activity. At the end of the day, I usually find a place that I can sit in solitude with nothing and no one around me to reflect on my day. So the first part is about the gratitude journal, and the next one is about the half full bottle journal. I think the name is quite strange for you, but let me just explain real quick about the half full bottle journal. So when you can see yourself as a half full bottle, it means you appreciate what you have rather than chasing or wanting for more, you can shift your focus and your perception into something positive, right? To see yourself as a half full bottle. I mean, just imagine you had a really exhausting day, like you have just finished the exercise maybe, and you have just a half of the bottle of water. You can see it's half empty or half full, right? When you see it's half empty, no, it's not enough for me. I want more. I want full bottle of water. I want a bigger one, not just the small one. But when you see, oh, I'm so lucky, I still have a half full bottle of water right now, so I can drink it and I can have some of the energy. So when you see and when you can appreciate what you have rather than wanting or chasing for more, and that is also the part. And for today, this morning was bad. I mean, it was raining heavily, like cats and dogs, and I couldn't really go out. I got wet and everything seems so terrible for me this morning. So I started blame the weather, even though I know right now when I sit down quietly, and I know that I can't change the weather. So what's the point of blaming the weather? And it affected every part, every moment of my morning, right? So it ruined all my morning. So when I can sit down and when I can reflect on myself, I can see what did I do right and what can I improve in that situation? How could I have viewed the situation in a different way? Okay, so I can apply this method also in business. I'm working online, managing more than 100 members online. So one of the core values of Tommy English in terms of working is about innovative. All right, so we are not gonna stop in the same place for too long. I mean, we always want to look for new ways to improve things and to facilitate the working procedures to make the healthier working environment for everybody joining us, right? So that's also the part we seek for feedback and suggestions from all the team members, even they are in the back of the house or the heart of the house or front of the house, right? So I think reflection is a must-do, especially when you are in the business or even with your personal life, right? Because constantly update yourself and seek for new ways to improve your work process are a very beautiful thing and very necessary thing that you should do. Competence is the foundation of self-confidence. It's the skills and knowledge and the experience we build over time. The more you learn and practice, the more competent you become. When you feel prepared and capable, confidence naturally follows. But remember, competence alone isn't enough. You could be the most skilled person in the room and still struggle with confidence if you lack of self-belief. So that is the second pillar, and it's just as important as competence. What is it? I think it's the inner voice saying, yes, I can do it. It's the trust that you have in your abilities, even when you have to face with the uncertainty. What is important about self-belief? I think that is something that everyone should master. I mean, we should learn to believe in ourselves. Let me just take a real quick example of my podcast journey. I would say podcast journey. So when I first started making the podcast, I had to face with a lot of challenges. How can I come up with the topic for my podcast, and how can I deliver the message so everyone can feel comfortable and they can use it as a tool of learning English, right? And how can I write the script, and how can I catch the attention of the people, of the audience? And so many things. So at first, I didn't believe in myself and I doubted myself. Tommy, are you able to do that? But then I sit quietly at the room that day. I think to myself, all right, so it's just the new experience for me. Just give it a try. I have nothing to lose at that time. So I use it as the way to improve my English, and also in order to do the podcast, for sure that I have to do a lot of research about the topic. So, that's a great way to broaden my horizon. I was not certain about what I was about to do. I didn't believe in myself, but then I decided to do that. I know that I was not fully ready, but I also know that I can handle anything that come my way. So take a moment to reflect on the last time that you didn't believe in yourself. That's something that you were afraid to do. But after that, you took all the courage to do the things. And how did it feel? And what did you learn from the experience, right? If you're listening to this, share with me in the comment below. So we've talked about the two parts of self-confidence, which are competence and self-belief. And for sure, we cannot separate these two things, because they often go hand in hand. As you improve at something, you start believing in yourself more. And when you believe in yourself, you're more willing to take on new challenges, which helps you grow further. However, self-belief can also come first. Sometimes you just need to trust yourself and say yes to the opportunities, and say yes to yourself that I can do it. And even if you are not sure about what's next, you will grow as you go, and that growth will build your competence. So building confidence is a journey. It's not about being perfect. It's not about making progress. So next time when you face challenge in your life, in doing something, ask yourself two questions. Do I have the skills for this? And more importantly, do I believe that I can do it? Yeah, we're coming to an end of episode number 11, Building Sustainable Confidence. By listening to this episode and understanding the journey of building true, long-lasting and sustainable confidence, I hope you get much more confidence either in your personal or professional growth. So as you reflect on what we've learned today, think about one action that you can take this week to build your confidence, whether it's planning for your day, your week, or seeking feedback, setting a new goal, or trying something new. By focusing on continuous self-improvement, building strong relationships, or being adaptable, demonstrating your unique value, and helping others grow, you can truly become your best self. Thank you so much for joining in today's episode of Building Sustainable Confidence. I hope that you can find these insights helpful. Remember, confidence is not about being perfect. That's what I've been telling people. It's not about being perfect. It's about embracing your journey, learning from experiences, and continuously adding value to yourself and to the people around you. So keep striving to be the best version of yourself. Thanks again for tuning in, and if you enjoyed the journey today, please hit the follow button on the platform that you're listening on. I'm so excited to hear your thoughts on today's episode. Feel free to reach out. I can't wait to catch you in the next one. Until then, good night.